So, we are closing in on the 1-year anniversary of Zenith VR, which I gotta say, happy birthday Zenith, and it's been a great year, and it looks like many people have loved your game, but I wanted to give my review. If you've noticed on my channel, we have not really played that much of Zenith, and there's a good reason, because I actually didn't like Zenith too much, but that was just me. So, just in all respect to the game, everything I say in this video is my opinion. Of course, I would actually suggest this game for many other people, but it's just not the game for me. So my story with Zenith actually starts before the launch day. At the time, there's a lot of YouTubers that are actually covering the development of Zenith. And in that process, they kind of describe Zenith in many different ways, comparing it to other games and other things. And really, I kind of think that they shouldn't have compared them to anything, and really, it just made it so Zenith was its own game. Because I went in thinking, oh, this is going to be a Sword Art Online style game. And it's gonna have so many cool aspects from that stuff. And yes, they did include some aspects from Sword Art Online, like some different swiping actions, as well as some styling of how the MMO works. But I think that actually was to a detriment in my mind, this is my opinion here, because it didn't really give room for Zenith to be its own thing. So that kind of is a detriment to why, I guess, getting into the game, I had a hard start, because I'm just like, this actually didn't feel as cool as I thought it would be. But with that aside, let's move on to the two things that I would like to review about the game, which is the story and the gameplay. So when I talk about story, I kind of actually talk about the whole creativity of how the world building works in Zenith. Zenith has a lot of different regions, cities, and characters. And in all of that, there's a lot of detail. There's a lot of different character models, a lot of different details in the environments that you're in, and a lot of different details in just the aspects of the game. But what it really falls short in my opinion, is the characters' quests. They're just repeated quests over and over again. Now, this actually wouldn't be that bad if the leveling system worked with it, but we'll save that for later with the gameplay loop. But it's kind of just like you do a quest, and then from there, where do you go? One other thing I want to address as far as the story and world building that I slightly didn't like was the aspect of what is the evil that we are fighting and what is its motive. Really, that's actually the real reason. What is the motive of the evil? Because oftentimes whenever you have good versus evil, it's kind of boring. But if you have a motive for like what the good is and what the evil is, then you might actually feel for one side or the other. And there's really no choice in that aspect. And I think having a story choice where you can choose between certain sides is always kind of nice, even if it's just like a choice and then nothing else happens after that. But this game was developed by a small indie company, so I'm gonna give them a little bit of leeway there because it takes a lot of work and a lot of creative minds to come together to be able to create those kind of things. So we're gonna give a little pass there. So let's talk about gameplay. The gameplay of this game is actually fairly fun. You got a few different classes. All of them have like a lot of different skills that you can learn, develop, do. You got climbing, you have flying. I do think that climbing is a little bit janky because you have to make sure you grab the surface of the walls, even though you can kind of reach into the walls. So you gotta really monitor where your hands are going. There doesn't seem like to be that much of a friction compared to like some other climbing games. But you know, with how many gameplay physics and mechanics there are, this is okay. It works just fine. And I think it's great that they included so many different gameplay things. It took me forever to fly, so that was kind of hard, but that's okay. Like, you know, you gotta learn the mechanics of the games. So with that, it's pretty good. I think they have a lot of good gameplay features in the game. Now, the gameplay loop is where I get lost because just like we mentioned before, you get quests to then get experience and maybe some materials, but then actually more like you're giving away your materials. But what do you do from there? Before you go to the next area, you have to level up, so you have to do that quest over and over and over again. It's very boring very quickly. Now, how a game that I play a lot of solves this, which is Elder Scrolls Online, is they actually make it so you can go to any region you ever want to, and all enemies are level scaled. Now, level scaling can get a little complicated, because if you don't do it right, then it almost makes the game impossible once you're like later leveled if you don't min-max. But it makes it so you can at least adventure out into the world and explore the entire world without having to level up. And that's where I actually had to stop with this game, is because I would love to go and venture into the world, but it would take me hours upon hours of just grinding the same quest over and over again before I can actually explore the world. And I'm a person that likes to explore the world and maybe play some of the game, but not like grind out the game for hours before I can adventure to maybe some of the most beautiful scenery pieces. So that's where I'm lost a little bit. Some people don't mind the grind, so they can go and do it and, you know, they'll grind away. Now for this game, you know, a game that costs, I think it was $20 at launch, and I think it might still be $20. I think that like it's fine. You can probably get solid 20 hours out of it, which, you know, oftentimes I go to, is it $1 an hour? But sometimes it doesn't work for some games. But this game, it does fulfill that promise. So that's why I actually will recommend this game for most people. These are my little critiques of the nuances of the game. And in all aspects, I think it's great. I think you guys will enjoy it and everything. And I gotta say, it's been 1 year, and for a live game that's gonna continue, you know, development, continue updates and everything, I'm really looking forward to seeing where this game goes, and I'm really looking forward to anybody to convince me to get back into the game and show me the way, because I really want to know the way so I can actually enjoy this game and the greatness that the developers have made for us. So if you guys like this kind of retrospective of like my pros and cons of the game as well as my thoughts, please give this video a like and subscribe. We have a lot of other games we play, especially we have a huge roleplay series that is very well done. It's called the Township Tale SMP. Go watch those, especially the Birth of the Dark story arc. That one's my best one yet, and we just finished the finale about last week as of this date coming out. So go check those out, and thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later.